Hello,
Hello.
are you a Eat Maxi?
Or Solana Maxi.
It's
Time
time
to
to end
end
the
the
war
war.
and go universal with Push Chain. So today we are going to write a code to send an email from an EVM address to the Solana address. Say hi to your Solana friend. In very simple words, if you see the transaction lifecycle, it consists of five stages: initiation, signing, broadcasting, validation, and finalization. So start with the initiation, that is creating the transaction. It's time to code, open your VS Code, terminal, or whatever you use. You can also get the code at the push.org slash docs, like cross-chain email. And no worries, I've also uploaded the full code at my GitHub repo. So opening up the terminal, we'll initialize the node project as we are going to write this in the JavaScript. Once we are done with this thing, we'll launch this into the VS Code. And here is our VS Code. Time to create a file name index.js. So carefully listen these four steps. First is to set up the SDK. That is install all the libraries, the pushchain devnet, SDK, Vim, and Ethers. Second step is wallet creation. But before that, let's go and install the library meanwhile, because we don't have to wait further on. You can find uh, it over here in the docs, or maybe go to the GitHub repo. Either way, it's fine. I'll just type npm install this and also include ethers, because using ethers to create a random wallet address on the EVM part. So second step is wallet creation via ethers, and third step is account object. We'll be going to use this as a wrapper to handle message signing. And last, not the least, for the first part of initiation, of course, will be create the signer creation. So I'll just copy the code from the repo itself. Okay. Yeah, you can see that node modules is there. So I'll go to the index.js and copy the code. This is the initial SD, of course, importing all the functionality from the SDKs, but this is till the creation part for the sign. As you can see, I've imported this. I'll explain you. The first part is importing Pushchain SDK. Second is import Ethers.js and VM for signing. In third part, over here, creating a private key and a wallet address, and final, like the fourth step that I've told you, a signer creation. So now the second thing is to signing to ensure like transaction authenticity, and to do this, we'll be going to use this function uh, from the SDK itself, pushchain.initialize, where we are going to pass signer so that the signer is registered with the pushchain SDK. And second step is this ensures all transaction will be cryptographically signed by the signer. Cool. So this is the smallest code, just creating a const plus chain and initializing the signer, also console logging in. I'll show you at the end of the video all these things. The third thing is broadcasting, sending the signed transaction. As we have the signer, you can also find the snippet of this into the GitHub repo that I've created. But going back to the VS Code, let's try to break down the broadcasting of the signature into parts, what it is needed. First thing is we'll be using the pushchain.transaction.send. This will send a transaction to the pushchain network, of course. Second is, of course, creating the universal account. We'll be using this function. And the last thing that we are going to do is transaction data. This will include two things. One is the category, because we are, calling this email app. I'm assigning this category as email, and the data will be more of a JSON object that we will encode in the message. Here we'll doing title and the message part. You can also see it over here, but if we go by the code, you can see over there that I have defined the chain ID address. This is basically the receiver and the sender. So Solana, because we are going to send this email to the Solana address, we have defined that, and also you can see the email data that we have defined in the broadcasting. Also, at the end, console.log, we have the consoling the transaction hash. Fourth step is the validation to network verifies the transaction. Here, nodes will verify that transaction, but what we are going to do is we'll just simulate a 5-second delay. In delay, you can also opt out for this. And once we will send this transaction, I'll also go to the scan.push.org and show you how the consensus is getting formed and nodes are validating this transaction. So you can see I've simulated this, 5-second delay. And final is the finalization. That is, transaction is recorded. We are going to just fetch this from the push chain blockchain itself. And this is the last step from this 5-step series. That is the finalization. Finalization. In this, the transaction has been sent to the blockchain. It has been validated. Now, what we are going to do is just fetch that specific transaction. So, first step is we are going to use the function pushchain.transaction.get, where we'll be providing the transaction hash that we have got from the previous step, and finally iterate to the whole blocks so that we can get that specific transaction that we are looking for. So if you can see, the steps are simple, and I'm also consoling log everything so that once we send this or once we run this code, we can send all the inputs. So now time is to go to the command line interface. I'll type node index.js, and you can see over here all the steps. Generated private key, the first step that we did, right? And wallet address, then signer has been created. Push chain transaction hash, this transaction hash I'll copy, and the final transaction hash is it. Just to get the clear picture of what we are going to do is we'll go to the scan.push.org, and you can see also over here you can see transaction is 5 seconds ago. But what I'll do is I'll also paste this transaction hash over here, hit enter, and you will see now that the sender and the receiver address is same as what we did to send the transaction. And you can see it's same. Also, while I was talking to you, the consensus info, the validation. So you can see this has been verified by this 5 validators, and the payload data at the bottom. So also you can see the category email over here. But yeah, this is most of that. So thank you so much for this video. Do let me know if you have any question. I'll drop all the links at the bottom of this video. See you once again. Thank you so much.